Hello, this is Helmwulf, and I'm back at the house on our Technic world, and we're resuming our Let's Play. I've since come up from the mine, got all of the resources that were down there. Well, not quite all of them I wanted. We didn't get any diamonds down there, unfortunately. Could have done with, I believe it's 3 of those we need for the diamond drill. But I got a lot of V's crystals, well, different Thorncraft crystals. I think I got a few V's crystals somewhere. Maybe they're in my chest. 1 V's crystal. God, I'll need more than that. Got plenty of uranium, which is useless at the moment, but will be much better later once we get a nuclear reactor set up. I think the first job now is to divide up some of our resources into different chests. Because at the moment we're sticking them all in the same chest. Hopefully later, once we have our logistics system set up, I will be dividing all of the resources into separate compartments in much larger chests as part of the iron chests mod, which gives you, obviously, iron chests and normally a different chest for every single resource. So you'll get iron chests all the way up to diamond chests. Looks like copper chests, silver chests, all sorts of different chests. Okay, this is mainly just for memory. This is going to be my ores and ingots and crystals chest. This is going to be my rubbish that I'm... No, this is going to be my rubbish that I'm not using at the moment chest. You guys can go in that, and maybe you can come out, and you can go in there, you guys can go in there, you can come out, you can come out. You can come out. What else might I need? I also planted my rubber trees outside and should check on the farm. Ooh. I think the farm has grown some bread. And I'm quite low on hunger at the moment, so yes, I think I'm going to... No, okay, no, I need to figure out what I'm doing first. Going to need plenty of iron to get started with IndustrialCraft, which that's what we're going to be doing this episode, IndustrialCraft. Need to get myself on track. Gonna need some tin to make batteries. I'm going to need some copper to make wire. Also an important component of wire is rubber. I planted, I believe, 1 of the rubber trees has grown from outside. I'll stick all the ore in my ore chest, ore and ingots. It's not ore. That's not ore either, but it's... I'm going to be using it. I'm going to need you, and you, and you guys. Okay. My pickaxe is broke down there, so I had to use emeralds, but we'll be fine. This can be my blocks chest for now, including wood and... yep. Bingo. Okay, I'm gonna go harvest... Oh god. As soon as I get up here, night time, run away. Sparkly thing. That's one of the... I suppose it's a mob from Thorncraft. It indicates a high V's area, a high V's level in the chunk that you're part of, which is quite handy. Although, seeing as it's flying around, I can't really tell which chunk it spawned in. I believe it shows the chunk it spawned in. Right. So, seeing as these are going to be our permanent rubber trees, we could cut off all of the leaves from them, other than the top 3, I think it is. The top 3, yes. Crap, I've fallen in the water. 1, 2, 3, yep, that's 3. All my eyesight is getting even worse. Other than the top 3 leaves, all of the other leaves can be destroyed, and it will still regenerate rubber, which is always quite handy. You could keep coming back to this tree from now on and gather rubber from its logs, which will be very handy in the future. And I'm not quite sure, it's been at least 3 or 4 Minecraft days, so more of those should have grown, but they haven't moved. Mini horse. To gather up some of this wheat so I don't starve. Good old oh, I thought that was a shark, but it's just a stingray. Get my iron sword out and go back into the house. Just in time, the iron is finished. Right, one of the most used resources in IndustrialCraft, other than I suppose it is the most used resource, is refined iron. Now you get this simply from cooking up already made iron ingots, again in a furnace, or electric iron furnace, whatever, and you will get refined iron. It's one of the most important components in all of IndustrialCraft, along with the three basic components: copper, tin, and just normal iron. I'm going to need some stone, some tin. Did I get redstone? Please God, say I have some redstone. Right. Right. Okay. 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 I'm gonna go and get some redstone. He doesn't look happy. Hey buddy, that's my mine. Come on now, and there's a werewolf over there as well. You better not destroy my house. That's really gonna piss me off. I'll have to deal with him later. If only I had some armor. And didn't bring all of my important resources with me. I hope I don't die. That would not be good. I didn't bring any food. God, I'm a moron. Well, at least you get to see the cave I was mining out. For quite a while. I think I've gone the wrong way. Yes, I have. I'll be right back when I find some redstone. Right. Well, I found some redstone down there. I believe this is, yes, this is the same. I came to this place when I was exploring and mining earlier. However, I did not cross it. Ooh. What happened there? None the matter. I'm going to get that redstone and hopefully not fall into the damned lava. Come on. There we go. Okay, that's not quite as much redstone as I would have hoped for, but it's enough. Now we need redstone for making batteries. I suppose I could go and get this redstone down here, which I think I will, and I know I'm missing that iron. I don't have time to get iron right now. There's some uranium. No! Thank God all of these caves have been lit up from me exploring them earlier. Right. I'll just zip back up to the surface now. I've been forced to eat the rotten flesh of a zombie simply so I don't starve on the way back to my house. God, this is such a mess. That stupid ogre. Is that him? What on earth? Is that him over there? Yes, it is. I'm gonna get back in my house and resume with IndustrialCraft. The first thing we need to make is... okay. I suppose we'll be alright with just one for now. It's incorrect, isn't it? We need rubber. So what comes first? And you get rubber simply by cooking up the sticky resin you get from the rubber trees in combination with the tree tap. There we go, rubber. And we can use rubber with the resources we've just collected We should have enough. I'll be back once this is should be enough for now, because all we need is 6 rubber to get started. And the simple process with this rubber, copper in the centre, rubber on either side, well, top and bottom, you'll get 6 copper cables. We'll need one of these to create a battery, RE battery, which we can use in conjunction with the refined iron. Refined iron gets us a machine block. That's one. You'll be building a lot of machine blocks in IndustrialCraft. You can turn that back into refined iron at any time you want. We're not going to do that. We're going to need another furnace, just a normal furnace. Furnace on the bottom, machine block in the middle, RE battery on top. Gives us a generator. The first thing you should ever build in IndustrialCraft. Now, I think I'm going to put the IndustrialCraft items on this wall. And I'll put some coal. You'll need a lot of coal. You'll end up burning through masses of the stuff. I'll just let it burn up and fill in the internal capacitor of that. The generator generates 10 EU per tick, which isn't very much, but with the small machines we'll be building at the start, it should be enough. Now, for the next thing we're going to build, I believe, create an iron furnace, which I never normally use, but I believe they're slightly more efficient than stone furnaces, although they're rather expensive and still require a lot of coal. So, after our iron furnace, right, we're going to need 1 more copper cable. And seeing as we don't have enough rubber for the old recipe, we're going to need to create uninsulated copper wire and simply put the rubber in front of it, and we can get half of it to 8 copper cables. We shall need 1 more refined iron. I'll be back once that's cooked up. And we've got it. We have the redstone. I believe this is the correct recipe to make a circuit, an electronic circuit. So that's what we need. Iron furnace, the electronic circuit, 2 redstone either side, will give us an electric furnace. Now this is a much, when used in conjunction with the generator, when you put coal in it, it is a much more efficient version of any other furnaces. Other than the higher upgrades of this, including the induction furnace and putting overclocker, is it overclocker? I believe it's overclocker upgrades in the right hand side here. Now we shouldn't need to use these furnaces again, but seeing as this is no longer upgraded, I'm going to keep them there just in case. Now for our next build, we're going to make a macerator. And it's much faster as well. We're going to need 8 more refined iron. I already had some iron ore in there, so I'll be back once I've cooked us up 8 more refined iron. There we are. 8 more refined iron. Put that into the crafting table. And get another machine block. Now, where did I put... put it in here, didn't I? Let's see. Now for the next part, we're going to need another electronic circuit, and I don't have enough rubber to make one, but there is something else we can do to get rubber. However, another rubber tree has grown, so I'm going to investigate this. Be back once I've cut all the damn leaves down from this thing. Right, I've got the sticky resin we needed, finally. Had to go all the way back to that old swamp we were in before. Brilliant, I get back here, and look what's happened. There's a bit of sticky resin on that tree. But we're going to have to wait to process that, because we will need a bit more rubber. Right, unfortunately I've actually done things here in a strange order. I usually build the furnace first, that is the electronic furnace, because it gives you much faster access to ores and iron, and normally I have a lot more rubber. But if you have a rubber shortage like I did, it's probably best to go for the machine that I'm about to before you go for any of the others. Of course you'll still need a generator, but that is a given. So I'm going to make some more insulated cable. I'm going to make another circuit, which I will need another piece of iron for. Now the reason I'm not just cooking all of this iron ore, there is a good reason behind it. A very, very good reason. But we'll have to wait and see what that is, if I can actually get this machine that I want working. Two cables on the same spot there. Okay. Let's check what I need. Right. Where's all the wood? There it is. Going to need a couple of wood. And you're going to need to make 4 new tree taps. Position them as so. Broken tree taps won't work, I believe, although we could try. It's always useful to have a new tree tap instead of a broken one. Nope, I don't believe they work as I thought. And this gives us an extractor. I'm going to put the extractor here, let its internal buffer fill up. When you put sticky resin into the extractor instead of a furnace, it's rather slow. It can do other things as well, but this is the main use of the extractor. Probably the best use, other than later when we build a nuclear reactor. Let's see what happens. We get 3 rubber from every 1 sticky resin, instead of just 1, which is brilliantly more efficient. I believe it also requires probably more energy. However, I think it's only double the energy for triple the rubber, so it's definitely worth it, especially if you have a rubber shortage like I pretty much always do. Going to make some more cable, because that's pretty much all you always need. And we'll get constructing the other resource I needed, the other block. Going to need 8. While that's cooking up, I'll take a look at the recipe. This is probably one of my favourite items in the mod. Okay, I believe I have everything I need. Yes. But I think I'm going to need a few more cables, which I have, thanks to my wonderful extractor. 9 cables. I'm going to need another, which I don't have enough refined iron for, obviously. This will be much faster once we get the upgrade for it. And I haven't fully decided whether we go for an induction furnace or an overclocker. I'll have to figure that out later. I want to refine all of this iron. I think I've run out of coal. Yes, this thing really eats up coal. Although it doesn't work if you throw it at it. You actually have to put it in there. I kinda wish throwing at it worked, but alas, it does not. electronic circuit. Got our resources all here. Now we just need that refined iron, so I'll be back once it's all cooked up. Right, now the iron's all cooked, we can build the last machine, and probably the most important in my opinion, that we will need. Electronic circuit, where did you go? There you are. Nope, you don't go there. A macerator. Macerator is a brilliant part of this mod. Oh look, it's night time. Now, what I've been doing so far is placing these blocks next to the generator, but that will not work for this macerator. You see, the generator will transfer power to any block that is adjacent to it. And you can see the extractor and the electric furnace, sorry, are touching the generator, so they get power fine. Of course, if I try to use this macerator now, nothing will happen, because it's got no power. And the genius thing about these cables is, now it has power. Any kind of cable that you create, including uninsulated ones. I could have used these uninsulated cables, but I'll explain that now. Cables will transfer power away from a generator. There's multiple kinds of generator. This is just the basic one. Going to grab some more coal to let it heat up. I think I'm running low on coal. I am. I need to go hunting for that. They can transfer power away from any kind of generator, but per block that they transfer power they lose a certain amount of energy. Now I believe at 3 blocks it's not really going to lose anything. That will maybe cost us 0.6, 0.8 EU, which is nothing. You see the macerator working? But uninsulated wire, other than the fact it damages you when you go close to it, which is bad, but funny for making electric fences if you want to keep creepers away from your home, it will lose a lot more power than insulated cable. Well, not necessarily a lot with the copper cable, but with certain other cables it will lose lots more power. So we won't use that. I really need to replace this dirt floor. Oh well. Now to explain the macerator. Right, what the macerator does is you feed it ore, and it gives you dust. What happens is, when you put 1 block of ore into the macerator, and it does its thing, it should give you 2. For every 1 ore you put in there, it will give you 2 dust. Now, the dust can be cooked up in any kind of furnace, not electric, but of course electric's much better, and each 1 dust will give you 1 ingot. So, effectively, we're doubling the amount of ore, well, the amount of iron we get, and any other metal bar that we have from mining. And that's why it's one of my favourite blocks in the mod. We'll double all of our iron. All of our copper as well. All of these ores are able to be macerated, other than, I believe, cinnabar and tungsten. I don't think these 2 ores are implemented in the mod yet. I think they're both from Red Power 2. I know tungsten's from Red Power. Not sure about cinnabar. I don't believe they're implemented yet. I'll probably have to research that a bit more. But I know neither of them can be macerated or done anything with at the moment. Brilliant. Now we're macerating all of this iron. There's also an upgrade for the macerator and the extractor. Well, yes, there is an upgrade for the extractor actually, that we shall be using. And I think now we have these IndustrialCraft basic machines set up, this is a good point to end the episode. So thank you for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this episode, and goodbye.